Hello, everyone, and welcome to Quantum Energy Healing. We are here live and pre recorded with Ashley Lee. I'll be your host for an amazing 12 episodes of learning how quantum energy healing is here for you and to help everyone in your family, your community, and the world as a whole. It's pretty amazing to understand and to really relish in the opportunity and the experience to experience quantum energy healing. So let's get started. It's exciting. I want to also please invite your kids, invite people to this TV show. We meet here weekly on Sundays at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and it's an amazing opportunity to explore how energy healing can change our lives. It's so exciting. Everybody just take a deep breath. Take a moment to close your eyes. Cleanse your energy, cleanse your body of all experiences you've had prior to this moment. To experience all that's here in the next 30 minutes about energy healing and what's possible in your life. Taking that big cleansing breath, clearing off all the day's worries, concerns, or overwhelm. It's so exciting to be here with you all. Let's get started. All right. So quantum energy healing, what does that mean? It's so exciting. We are all made of energy. I'm pretty sure you've heard that in one form or another. We have many forms of energy. We have physical energy, like our bodies. We have emotional energy, like our emotions, happy, sad, angry, upset. We have mental energy bodies, right? What we're thinking, what we're feeling, what we're knowing in this sense of processing information and data. And then we have a spiritual aspect. And boy, that is multidimensional to say the least. Actually, all of our energy bodies are multidimensional and can experience things in many different ways. We can experience it from many perspectives. Perspectives like, I talk about 5 basic ones to people. There's me to myself, that's a perspective, how I view myself and how I view the world. There's me to you, that is, how do I feel about me as I'm addressing you or talking to you or sharing with you? Right? And then there's you to me. That one can get kind of complicated. But in an easy way to see it is to experience how the other person, that's you, for example, the other person that you're working with, how they experience me, right? So that's you to me. So I look into the other person's experience, feel in their shoes, wiggle in their toes, have that experience to know what they're experiencing and feeling as they relate to me. Then there's me to the world. That's number 4. How I relate to the world. And what I mean by the world is groups of people. It could be everyone in your family. It could be everyone in your community, everyone in your school or workplace. It can be the whole community. It can be the state. It can be the country. It can be all of humanity. So that's what I mean by the world to me. And then we have this experience of the world to, the me to you, me to the world, and then the world to me. So how the world views me, or this larger collective views me. And so we begin these different perspectives, 5 perspectives. Let's talk about thoughts, for example, because this is how quantum energy healing begins, is actually clarity of our heart, our thoughts, our soul, our essence, our being. When we're clear about what we're thinking, feeling, emoting, when we're clear about that, the energy healing gets very precise, very exact. It gets very, very precise. Okay, so let's move into that idea. So thoughts create things. What do I mean by that? Okay, so I've got this quantum energy healing background here. This couldn't have been created until I thought about it. And then I had my amazing illustrator create it for me. And then we sent it to the printers and they printed it. And then they mailed it to me and I put it up here on the wall as a background for our show today to share with you the idea of what it is I'm talking about, what it is I'm sharing, what it is you're experiencing. Do you see all those perspectives and how thoughts truly become things? So when we're clear with our thoughts, we start to produce things very easily. Okay? So let's go deeper into this thought creates things thing. Okay? So when we want something, a desire or an intention, what happens is this desire and intention, if it's just little, like let's say, I want a lollipop and I want some sugar, right? Or I want a piece of candy. And I got clearer and I said I wanted a lollipop. But I didn't ask what kind or what size or how many. So what happens is if we get really clear with our thoughts, we start to manifest them into form. We can manifest them physically into form by going to the store and buying a lollipop. We can ask another person to go and buy that lollipop for us. If there's some in our house, we can go to that space in our house and obtain the lollipop. So that's how we physically attain it. We can emotionally and mentally attain it by thinking of it and then supporting that thought into action. And that's where it enters the quantum field. So the quantum field is these little particles that are hard for people to see. The physicists see them. Many people who have the ability to see things, so to speak, extrasensory abilities, multisensory abilities, can see quantum particles. I can see quantum particles. Many people can see quantum particles. Even the kids can see quantum particles. I look at it as it's like snow on the TV that kind of waves through physical atomic structures, like a human being or a wall, those kinds of things. What does that mean? Why do quantum particles go through atomic structures? Well, that's what we're here to talk about. That's kind of cool. Is when our thoughts are energy and our thoughts produce brain waves and we send them out through our head or our body, right? We also have heart brain waves too. You can send it from the heart. You can send it from all over the body, quite honestly. And what we do is when we emit this energy, this thought pattern that's very clear and precise, what happens is they start to interact and they bounce around. And they bounce around or they create coherent waves and they start to interact with quantum particles. Neutrinos, torinos, muons, preons. There's all different types. And when we interact with those, our thoughts interact with those, they start to vibrate as well and create wave patterns. And those wave patterns go to atomic particles, that is atoms. Atoms make physical structures, like the media in which you're looking at me through the television network, right? So these atoms are formed and they actually interact from quantum particles from our thoughts. Isn't that amazing? So what does really all that mean and why is that important? Well, what I want to say is when our thoughts are clear, our heart is clear, our emotions are clear, and we really fully understand what that means, clarity, right? Clarity, like most of us want to have good thoughts. Most of us want to have integrous thoughts. Most of us want to have happy thoughts, helpful thoughts, in service to others and ourselves. When we have those kinds of thoughts, that's the healing I'm talking about. I don't know, we can have bad thoughts too. We can have uncomfortable thoughts. We can have angry and upsetting emotions. When we have those, we can also generate energy. I'm not sure I'd call it healing though. It might be energy destruction. or other things like that. That can happen too. Lots of people use it for negative reasons, we would call. But either way, we're focusing today on quantum energy healing. And that healing aspect is having clarity of thoughts that are healing, that are supportive, that are loving, that are inside love, inside our hearts, inside the all of everything that is love throughout our universe. That's what we're connecting to today. So what happens is when we have clarity of thoughts and they tickle and vibrate the quantum field and they tickle and vibrate atomic structures, we can actually start to change our atomic world. Now, what does that mean, right? Well, we're working with scientists all over the world to actually start to have tools to diagnose this, to share this, to alert people, to help people understand. We're developing technologies that can help people understand what this really means. And inside this, amazing ways of living can be obtained. And we start with ourselves. It's so beautiful. And so as we change that quantum field, it changes the atomic field. So in the physical, we can also move objects. We can build objects. We can do things just with our thoughts. Many people call that highly psychic right now, telekinesis, teleportation, other forms. But those are actually coming into form for the planet. The kids nowadays are waking up to the idea that they're not separate from anything or anyone. They have this knowledge base already innately inside of them. So us as adults and parents and other people in the world, as we clear our thoughts, we get clearer to the truth of what's happening in our world. And then we do that, we can start we can start creating in the world the way we'd like to. Now let's talk a little bit about mental creation, emotional creation, and even spiritual creation. That still happens also in the physical world. So when we talk about how we relate to everyone, it really supports this process. Because ultimately, we're not here born alone, right? I mean, we're born individual, but we're not born alone. We're born with parents, right? Some kind of way. We're born with parents, we're born with people, we're born into a community. And inside this community, we learn how to relate to one another. And as we relate and we have more clarity of our thoughts, our feelings, the way in which we choose to express our authentic selves supports this process in creating healing individually, collectively, and it affects our life circumstances. Isn't that amazing? Okay, so let's talk for a minute about remote energy healing because that's part of the quantum field too. The quantum field, these particles, they don't experience per se time and space, they transcend it. And when these particles transcend time and space and your thoughts connect to this quantum field, you're able to transcend your thoughts through time and space. That isn't linear. So, for example, if I sent a telepathic message to my sister, for example, if I sent her a telepathic message, she may hear it in a few minutes, a few seconds. She may hear it in a few hours. I can actually guide that time. I can say, send this message, and what she perceives, her perception, in an hour, that I love her very much. Right? So in an hour, and even though she's in 2 different time zones, actually 3, when she's in 3 different time zones, she'll receive it an hour from when? From now in this time zone or from that time zone? See, we can work inside and outside time zones. That's why we call our energy transmissions time zone indifferent. They can receive the information, the understanding, the energy healing at any time. Isn't that awesome? We can do this for everyone around the world. Okay, now let's talk about remote. What does that mean, remote? Well, right now, I'd like everybody to have an experience. Taking a moment to close your eyes, take a deep breath, and feel what you're feeling. I'm sending energy healing, supportive energy healing to everyone that is listening to this live and pre-recorded. It works both ways. So even if you didn't hear me live, you can still feel the feelings. So now everyone, this is what perception is about. Everyone feels feelings differently. Some people are very energy sensitive. And so in that sensitivity, you may go, ooh, that feels funny. That tickles. It feels itchy or scratchy. Lots of kids in my practice talk to me about that. So they get energy sensitive. And we talk about those energy sensitivities because a lot of times they lay into the idea that it's challenging to deal with the environment. It's, physical environments, mental environments, emotional and spiritual. All forms of energetic environments that they experience. Many of them have allergies and are overwhelmed and develop autoimmune issues and problems. I clear those for them. And I do it in a special way at night while they're sleeping, wherever they are around the world. And they literally wake up physically to a new experience, having those symptoms remediated. What do I mean by remediation? They're just not there anymore. And a lot of times if they do have still symptoms, so to speak, from their allergies, we look deeper. Me and the parents, usually mom, but other caregivers that are acting as a spokesperson for the child. I can talk to the child directly too, depending on the age. I've even helped kids in utero that were allergic and sensitive and had perinatal problems. That's when they were gestating, they had challenges physically with allergies to their environment. A lot of times it's emotional. And so I work with the kids, even in utero, all the way up to our elders on the planet, to supporting them in allowing them to feel wonderful and amazing in our physical world, in our physical environment, and not too overwhelmed by their environments, by their relationships, and the way that they're relating to the world around them. That's how we can do remote energy healing, is because I get very clear with my thoughts. I get very intuitive and understanding about what it is they're sensing and feeling. I know in their different energetic fields where it's coming from. And even more importantly, I support them in connecting to that themselves so that they can feel it and adjust their own energy when they're not around me, so that they can have a lifetime of self-healing that supports them. Isn't that awesome? So going back to that experience where you closed your eyes, take a moment to sense what you feel, what you felt. What did you feel? I'll share a secret. I sent bubbly clouds of energy that gently lift you, help you feel supported, loved, and known that who you are in this world really matters. As one of our teachers, Sparky Bridges, talks about, how we live in the world really matters. And your presence here is so important and so wanted and so needed. Your gifts, your perceptions, your ability to relate to yourself in the world is so valuable. And that's what I'm here to support everyone activating in themselves. Their opportunity to know themselves, help themselves, and create the healing that they like for themselves, their families, and the world. Did you feel the bubbly feelings? If you did, that's beautiful. You can recreate it for yourself as well. I call it support energy. There's different forms. You can have different colors of the cloud underneath you that lift you up, help you feel loved, important. Breathing that in. If you didn't feel it, that's okay too. Some of us just aren't that energy sensitive. A lot of times, our left brain, our logical brain, our linear brain takes over and says, this is how it is. And that's a very important part of our brain. It helps us process information pretty rapidly. So we don't want to get rid of it. We just want to master it and open up that right brain, open up the midbrain, open up everything, our heart. We want to open all of that up. We want to open our energy so that we can feel life the way it was intended, the way it was designed through love. And when we feel this, then we can start to feel the support energy. If we have beliefs that we're not good enough, if we have beliefs that I'm too stressed out to feel anything, many adults are, and even many kids are, or older kids, for lots and lots of different reasons. So through these episodes, we are going to dive in on how we can start to clear and understand, reframe, and live a different perception. A perception that suits us, that's our true nature, that expresses our gifts and our love to the world. How's that sound? Pretty cool. Huh? We'll do some more exercises in other episodes coming up. That'll be super fun and amazing. And I wanted to share with you the idea. I wanted to bring this episode to a deep understanding of we are here to relate to ourselves, our bodies, right? Our emotions, our thinking, our beliefs, right? Our values, our systems and structures that we've created as a reality of our life. We want to connect to our spiritual aspects, our soul, our purpose, our innate gifts, right? The ability to see the energies of life, the ability to hear them, the ability to feel them, to feel love, not only physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. When someone's experiencing something that's not so positive, instead of trying to push them away, block them, tell them to go away, we don't like it. What if we could say to each and every person, I sense you're having a hard day. I sense you're having a big struggle. How may I be of service to you? How may I support you? As little kids, what do they say? I'd like a hug. Or may I give you a hug? Right? So there's lots of ways that we can handle even negative energies in our world. And when we relate in these ways and we relate really deeply to ourselves, what happens, that's amazing, is we start to emanate and emit these energy frequencies from our own being. When we emit energies in this way, what happens is our relationships with the world, right, our environment, so with nature, with animals, bugs, reptiles, birds, everything, ocean creatures, we begin to understand what they're saying, what they're sharing with the world. They begin to teach us things we haven't yet seen or understood. That's what I mean. We learn to connect to inner guidance. That's all over our environment. We begin to learn to connect to our unconscious mind, right? That part that we don't know what we're thinking about. We can easily connect to that once we learn how to let go of beliefs that we can't. And I will show you the way on that process as well. These relationships build and our opportunity to create opportunities with other people, with family members, and everyone in the whole world. We begin to share our innate love and our innate understanding of ourselves and each other. We begin to naturally give service to each other, to ourselves, and to us. We call it us. With another friend of mine, Paul Luftenager, we coined the word, and I'm sure many others have, called united species. When we unite as a humanity, the possibilities are limitless on what we can do with quantum energy healing for everyone. I invite you to come back next week, Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, to enjoy the opportunity to experience quantum energy healing inside yourself. Thank you all for joining me, and have a beautiful, beautiful experience relating to your thoughts, the quantum field, and our atomic world. Goodbye, everyone.